All right, here we go, starting right off the bat. So, it says grab a ruler, protractor, and a calculator. I've got all that, okay? Draw the following triangles to scale, meaning we're going to use centimeters, and we're actually going to use a protractor. And it says find the missing angles and sides, okay? So triangle ABC, where little a, that's side A, is 6 centimeters, side B is 7 centimeters, and angle A is 40. So the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to draw angle A. So draw angle A, I'm going to put a dot, call it A. Just start right there, okay? So to draw an angle, I'm going to need what we call, the sides called the terminal, coterminal side. Who cares about what that is? But I'm just going to draw. I don't know how long this line is because I'm just drawing an angle. That's all I'm doing is drawing an angle, okay? Now, go ahead and draw that line in. And then, when you put your protractor, watch. A lot of kids do this wrong. It does not go there. It goes, see the symbol of this? See that little, it goes right there. See it? Right there to the center of the protractor. Zero it out. I've got 0 degrees here, okay? So I got the center of the protractor here. I've got 0 here, and then I go 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees. I put a little mark, okay, for 40 degrees. I'm going to draw my angle. I'm going to draw it nice and long, and then I'm going to start erasing and making it the right size, okay? So all I've done is made a 40 degree angle. Okay, now side A has got to be over here somewhere. Okay, side A, this is angle A, side A has got to be here somewhere. So we're going to draw side B. We'll draw side B 7 so that when we make side B, then we'll be able to draw side A. Okay, so, all right, let's draw 7. So I drew it 7, see, because I used my ruler to draw it 7 centimeters, and I'm going to erase excess because I don't need this. I don't need that. Okay. Okay. And then side A is 6. Well, side A is over here. Has to be 6. And fits for me right about there, okay? Okay, how am I doing? And then I can erase my excess, right? How's this? How am I doing? Okay? Now, I'm going to label, I know if this is side B, this must be angle B because they're opposites, right? So this must be angle B. And of course, it's triangle ABC, so this has to be angle C, which would make this side C, which I don't know, okay? So I've got the triangle drawn to scale, and then the next thing I need to do is try and solve it. Well, if you have a pair of opposites, which I do, if you have a pair of opposites, which you do, I'm going to use the law of sines, okay? So we learned the law of sines last week. I'm going to find angle B, so I'll set up my sine of B over 7 equals sine of 40 over my 6. Okay, how am I doing? Right? Okay, just sine of an angle over its opposite side, sine of an angle over its opposite side. And then I'm going to multiply up the 7 to solve for it. So I'm going to have sine of B is equal to 7 times the sine of 40 over 6. making sure my calculator's in the right mode. So turn on, make sure I'm in the right mode. Yeah, I'm in degree mode. I have to be in degree mode, right? We're going to do radian mode next week. We'll do radians, okay? So I'm going to go 7 times the sine of 40, close my parentheses, divide by 6, and I get an answer. I get a decimal, which is what I expected, okay? So now I'm going to go sine inverse of that answer, right? We've done this before last week, sine inverse of that answer. And I get about 48.6. Angle B is about 48.6 degrees. Okay, I'm going to put that in my triangle. How am I doing? Okay. And then angle C, well, that's pretty easy. I've got 1, 2, 3 angles in a triangle. To find angle C, angle C is equal to 180 minus the sum of these two interior angles, 40 plus my 48.6 degrees, and then I get angle C. Well, that's easy. Just use my calculator. Okay, so angle C, I'm going to go 180 minus the sum of 40 plus my 48.6, and I get an answer about 91.4, okay? Okay. And then finally, I can find side C, because again, I have opposites, right? So wherever I have a pair of opposites, I like to use the law of sine. So, you know, opposites, opposites. Am I doing okay? Okay, Abby says yes. Good, thank you, Abby. So if I want to find side C, I'm going to go C over the sine of its angle, sine of 91.4 equals 6 over the sine of 40. I'll multiply this up to solve for C, and I'll have C is equal to 6 times the sine of 91.4 divided by sine of 40. And I'm just going to use my calculator there. 6 sine 91.4 divided by sine of 40, and I get an answer of about 9.3. 9.33, okay? Okay? Not bad? Not bad? Okay, so let's try and draw number 2, because there is a point to this lesson. You haven't seen it yet. When we get to 2 and 3, I think you're going to see where I'm going with this, I hope. So if I try and draw number 2, okay? So same thing. Let's draw an A. Let's draw angle A. So put a dot here for A, right? See if you guys can construct this. I need a 50-degree angle. Just going to draw an angle, that's all, and then I can erase that excess. Take the protractor. I want 50 degrees right there. This would be side B. I'm going to let it be 8 because I have to draw B first because I need to know where to attach side A. I have to draw B first because side A is attached, but somewhere along here. So I use my ruler to draw this 8 centimeters. Okay, now I erase my excess. And then I draw in, oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. This is very bad. This is very bad. Wow, there's no triangle. No triangle exists. Well, that's weird. You know why? This is the dreaded side-side angle. Or, In geometry, they call it side-side angle, or we could call it the angle side-side. Now, angle side-side, that can't be right. That's a bad word. So in geometry, they never call it angle side-side because they know that parents would be really upset if you brought that home. And you say, Mr. Davies just taught me about the angle side-side triangle, right? But we know that's a bad triangle. So in geometry, they always teach it as the side-side angle triangle, okay, right? But it's backwards, a bad word, right? So if all we know is a side-side angle, it is possible that there is no triangle that exists. But you have to draw it to find it. Or if you work out the calculations in your calculator, you'll get an error. And you're like, why is there an error? Well, the error comes from the fact that no triangle exists, okay? All right, turn the page. All right, let's draw number 3. Okay, again, I'm going to go and put a dot, call it A for angle A. And I'm going to draw it out. Need an angle of 30 degrees, right? Draw my angle. Got 30 degrees here. Okay. Side B is 7 centimeters. Erase my excess and I'll wait for you, okay? Now, side A is going to be 5, so you just have to make it fit, right? So just got to draw that in, right? Okay, just go ahead and draw that in. I bet you didn't draw that triangle. But that's okay, isn't it? So in this case, you probably drew this one, right? There are 2 possible triangles. There are 2, look at this. 5's here, that works. And 5's here, that works. So in this case, with the dreaded, again, it's another side-side angle. It's another bad triangle. In this case, there's possibility of 2 triangles. And if I follow the directions, angle A, side B, and side A, I have 2 triangles. So let's take a look. In this case, again, it's the bad triangle. Let's solve first for probably the one that you drew, okay? Let's take a look at this triangle right here, okay? Let's solve this one, and then we're going to come back and solve the other one, okay? So first of all, to solve for this triangle here, we're going to do it the same way we did this one, okay? Because it's nearly the same type of triangle, right? So we're going to do the same thing. I know that angle B would have to be over here. Angle C, right? We can find angle B by the law of sines because we've got opposites, opposites. Angle B, side B, we can set up our opposites. So again, since I have my pair of opposites, I can find a pair of opposites. So I'm going to go sine of B over its opposite side equals the sine of 30 over its opposite side, okay? So we're just say opposite side, sine of B over its opposite side, sine of 30 over its opposite side, which is 5. And then I'm just going to multiply up the 7. So I'll have sine of B equals 7 times the sine of 30 over 5. And I'll just use my calculator to do this. Clear. I'm going to go 7 times the sine of, whoops, 30 divided by 5. And I get a decimal like I thought I would, a sine inverse. So I'm going to go sine inverse of 0.7. And I get an answer of about 44.4 degrees, okay? So angle B is about 44.4. Okay. Now, angle C, same way. We've got 3 angles in a triangle, so to find angle C, just going to go, 180 minus the sum of these 2 angles, 44.4. There we go. 30 plus 44.4. Am I going too fast? Slow down for a second. I'll slow down for a second. Okay. Fascinating. The dreaded bad triangle. It is a bad triangle. Okay, so if I find the third angle, I get about 105.6. Angle C is about 105.6 degrees. And then, if I want side C, set up the law of sines again. This angle here was my 105.6. So I'll set up the side C over the sine of 105.6. Side C, opposites, right? It's all about opposites. Is going to equal 5 over the sine of 30. Now multiply up the sine of 105.6. Times the sine of 105.6 with the sine of 30. Okay, so we got it clear. 5 times sine of 105.6 divided by sine of 30, and I can answer about 9.63. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to finish this up because there are 2 triangles. Okay. So who's to say that the other triangle isn't right? I mean, we drew the first triangle, but I drew this triangle, and if you follow the directions, 30 degrees, 7, and 5, my triangle's correct. So there's really 2 triangles. So let's figure out what the second triangle is. So I'm going to go ahead and do all my work for the second triangle here, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the second triangle out a little bit better so you can see it. So we go ahead, and I'm going to highlight the second triangle. So the second triangle could be right here. And that triangle is very legitimate. I mean, if I follow the directions, I've got a 30-degree angle, I've got a side 7 and a side 5. That triangle exists. So this is the smaller triangle, but I want to do that work over here. So how do I solve this? Well, first of all, let's go back to geometry. Okay, everybody watching? This is the key piece. Everybody's got to watch. These 2 sides are equal. This is not the triangle I want to solve, but these 2 sides are equal, right? So we know from geometry then these 2 angles are equal. So that's 44.4. That's also 44.4. Again, this is not the triangle I want to solve for, but these 2 sides are equal, 5, 5, which means these 2 angles are equal. So I'm going to put also 44.5 here. How is that going to help me? Well, angle B is no longer here. Angle B is really here. Angle B is that angle there. Okay? Angle B is now that obtuse angle, but that's easy to find because if I got 44.5 here, I got that because it's a nice sausage triangle. If that's 44.5 here, then angle B can be found from subtracting it from 180, right? Straight line, 180 degrees, minus my 44.5. So I'm just going to use my calculator, 180 minus 44.5 degrees, and I get angle B. The other angle B from the obtuse angle is 135.5, okay? So that's 135.5 degrees. And angle C is much, much smaller than the 105, right? Angle C is a little angle, so now let's find what angle C is from the small triangle. This is my small triangle, small obtuse triangle. So angle C would be just 180 minus the sum of the other 2 angles, 30 plus my 135.5, right? So angle C, pretty small angle, 180 minus the sum, 30 plus my 135.5, and I get an answer about 14. Yeah, angle C is pretty small, about a 14.5 degree angle. Okay. And then side C is no longer all of this side, because this triangle, we're not looking at that triangle. We're just looking at this little one, right? So side C is not all the way over here. Side C is just this little side over here. This is my 14.4. Oh, 14.5. So I'm going to set up my law of sines again, okay? Opposite side, opposite angle. Opposite side, opposite angle. So I'm going to set up side C over the sine of 14.5 degrees equals 5 over the sine of 30. And then I'll solve for that. I'll multiply up the sine of 14.5, 5, sine of 14.5 divided by sine of 30, and we're going to get an answer. 5 sine 14.5 divided by sine 30, and I get an answer of about 2.5. Wow. Okay, so the moral of the story before I quit is this. If you get the dreaded side-side angle, if you were to read that backwards, we know that's a bad triangle. What do I mean by side-side angle? Well, if you were given a side, if that's you were given a side, and an angle, there is a possibility of one of three things. One triangle exists, and you can solve that. That's easy. There's the possibility of no triangle existing, and you can't solve that. You just say it does not exist. Or the worst case is you get two different triangles from the same directions, and there are two different possibilities. Okay? And that's what I have to do today. And the homework today is a worksheet. It's going to be loaded up into Canvas, and that's all I have.